Welcome to round 3, everybody, here at Ettin Games and Hobbies. Had to pick one of the, not bottom seed matches, kind of middle of the ground matches, because everybody else has been on camera.
The people who we haven't seen before. But some decks that you might be familiar with in Ramunap Red and Temur Energy.
Absolutely, and these, very familiar decks in this format, very established. Actually, were completely rotation-proof.
Yeah, I know, right?
Rotation.
I mean, Ramunap Red lost a bit in a 1-mana 2/1, some aggressive threats. But overall, I don't think they lost much.
They got Lightning Strike.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything.
Yeah. So they got back the amount of damage that creature would probably deal.
Yeah, and then Temur Energy definitely did not lose anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a deck that just solidly... It didn't lose anything but Marvel when Marvel got banned.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we're going to see here. Brandon's going to say, let me roll your GD dice. And let's see. Brandon's going to pull some dice aside. He's going to need them for... Oh, he won't need them. Billy will need them for some energy count. Hopefully Billy represents on the screen. Brandon's going to draw his hand. 2 mana, and yeah, that looks like a keep. 3 mana? Is that Sunscorched Desert?
I do believe that's 3 mana.
2 mountains of Sunscorched Desert, what looks like 2 Earthshaker Kinras and a Braid.
Yeah, that's a pretty good hand. Definitely keepable.
Yeah, I mean, you get to tell whatever Billy does end up playing, like the Servant, that it just doesn't get the block. And you have the added bonus of being on the play, so this is going to be a Sunscorched Desert, and that's going to deal 1 to Billy right off the bat. It's going to be an Aether Hub. Billy's gonna use the energy for Attune with the Aether, so he's gonna gain 2 more energy. He's gonna get to search out a basic.
Yeah, I feel like Attune is definitely the glue to this any energy deck, really.
Right. Well, Billy actually has an interesting hand, so he needs to, in my opinion, he grabs turn 2 Forest.
Yeah, so that way he can turn 3 play...
Rootbound Crag, and turn 2 play the Servant.
I mean, he made a little slip up like the last time I watched him play with the mana that he played when he played it and what he got. It looks like he has fixed those ways.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because none of these lines allow him to grab an island.
No, not at all.
Like
I think he has an island in hand, though, right? Yeah, that's...
Oh,
that's
okay, that is one off
so
the back.
he's good.
All right. You know, a little worried there on Billy's sake. From where?
Starbucks.
Yeah, mocha frappuccino. Alright, this is going to be an Earthshaker Kinra, and that's going to drop Billy down to 17 as we get Starbucks coffee. Shout out to Allie?
Yeah.
Allie.
Shouts out to Allie.
Alright, it's going to be so he's going to dedicate the Servant, and he has kind of this weird Essence Scatter in hand. Temur Energy just feels like such a counterintuitive deck.
It really does. It's like,
so
here's
many...
this 2-drop that you want to play on turn 2, but here's this 2-mana spell that you want to hold up.
Yeah.
It's real strange.
Yeah, it's like a really aggressive mid-range strategy.
That's why I like Sultai a little bit better, because then you have you have your...
Sultai wins through its creatures anyways.
Yeah, for sure. But you have your 2-mana and 3-mana creatures, and then your 1-mana interaction with Blossoming Defense and stuff
Fatal
like that.
Bush, stuff like that. This is going to be Rogue Refiner. So interesting thing from watching the Pro Tour that I learned is Rogue Refiner is the first card that you're supposed to side out. But it's funny because I don't typically see people siding out Rogue Refiner. It's going to be an Exert off the On-Crop Crasher.
I actually really do like Rogue Refiner, but yeah, definitely in this matchup, because it doesn't really trade with much...
Right, so the reason they stated that you usually side out Rogue Refiner is that you're replacing it with a card that you're going to need in the matchup anyways. That's fair. All Rogue Refiner does is draw you a card and be a body.
That's completely fair.
Right.
A body that tries to Lightning Strike, Magma Spray, whatever spells.
Everything in Ramunap Red.
Shock, the works.
Everything Logan's playing
normally
tonight.
Won't be able to block because of Kenra on crop. So I can see it coming out.
I love the way that Wizards built out these red-based aggressive strategies in Standard, because they all function around the same abilities of not allowing your opponent to block, and also having haste.
And that's the important part of this deck, is just not allowing for good blocks.
See, I love this. So he gets to target one of the rogue refiners to not block this turn.
And then one of them is definitely going to trade,
Right.
leaving him up. Because I don't see Billy not blocking.
Exactly.
And I mean, heck, if Brandon has any form of removal in his hand, he just makes it so one of them can't block and then kills the one that can block.
Exactly. Like this is pretty heads up on Brandon's part. Like this seems like just a really good board position for him to be in. And he opts to only attack with one creature, and I think that's the downside of White.
Yeah, that line of play I don't really care for.
Right. Because Billy would have had to have traded and used the Magma Spray.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's see what else Billy has here. So that's the Aether Hub. That's going to take him up to some unknown quantity of energy. If he's representing energy on the mat, can you tell him to move it inward?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Okay. Just tell him we're trying to represent it for game state. All right, we're gonna hopefully get that just for the viewers out there. Yeah, it gives us more of a representation of game state, especially as the deck churns out things like Whirl of Virtuoso, Bristling Hydra. Like the actual quantity of energy starts to matter more.
So yeah, that's definitely a lot of energy.
And this like Whirl of Virtuoso is basically the best card in this matchup.
Yeah. I was gonna say it would have been funny to watch this Whirler Virtuoso start to poop out Thopters, and we're just like, we're not sure how many Thopters or how much energy.
It's like a clown car of Thopters.
Yeah, like
it's funny because
get the music going.
That was another thing I noted from the Pro Tour that they were talking about is that Sultai, you still have cheap interaction. You actually have cheaper interaction if you play the Sultai version. What you are losing is this Whirl of Virtuoso. It's just one of the best cards in these types of matchups.
I agree, but I mean you could also just hostage taker theirs.
Exactly.
So
yeah. There's definitely the possibility. You do have a few more options.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, you have a Whirler Virtuoso. Now I have a Whirler Virtuoso.
Yeah. Let's see what Brandon has here. This is going to be a Hazoret the Fervent, and that's going to be quickly met with that Essence Scatter.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let those resolve. Like, that's just not a thing you... Like, Temur Energy is definitely not something that interacts well with these gods.
I've seen Hazoret eat more Thopters than I ever thought possible.
Yeah, for sure.
In my time of watching Standard. Alright, this is going to be a Bristling Hydra. That's going to net him 3 more energy. And this is going to be the runaway board state. I mean, he has the ability to make Thopters. This Bristling Hydra can get excessively huge.
And then Brandon's not going to have the answers for it for sure, because, I mean, what in this deck actually kills a Bristling Hydra? It's not an Abrade.
Oh, and that's a Glory Bringer and a Harness Lightning.
So an untapped land clears the way. This looked to be going Brandon's way, but Billy seems to have found his footing.
Yeah, he's rounded the corner here. This is going to be attacked by the Rogue Refiner. This is going to be a pretty easy trade for Billy to make.
Send a message.
Yeah, his other 2 creatures are just so much better anyways.
Send a message. He's just like, you want to block this. You won't. You won't. I bet you won't. So we got a Bomat Courier off the top for Brandon.
And that's the thing I don't like about strategies like Ramunap Red is you just have so many lackluster top decks.
Yeah, you're so small that like late game, none of this matters.
Yeah, but that's also the thing I like about the deck is that the reason it's called Ramunap Red, the Ramunap Ruins, is a really interesting card. In that if you are forced to go into the long game, you can just kill your opponent by tapping 4 lands.
Yeah, that is a thing you can do, but
he's gonna eternalize this Earthshaker Kenra. And so he has the ability to target either one of those creatures, but I think that Brandon's just looking to have a blocker here because there's no way he's going to be able to chew through the amount of Thopters that Billy can make.
Or this energy to target this Bristling Hydra is just too great. Like
exactly. Like there's no point in exerting the on-card Crasher at all. He targeted the Whirler, and I just felt Billy say, "Sure."
Yeah, it's good. You got it.
He is not blocking this turn. I can guarantee you that.
Harness Lightning.
Moving into combat. Billy says, I'll make it a little bit easier for you.
Now, do you still want to attack?
Absolutely. And I love that. He even nets a Thopter.
Yeah, it's like, you want to attack? That's fine. I got you.
Yeah, Billy kind of signaling like there's no possibility you're gonna get through all of this, so I'm just gonna like I love that he made the Thopter after the Harness Lightning just to be like, hey, by the way,
I got you.
here's what's gonna happen if you choose to attack.
And Glorybringer.
Yeah, and that's gonna chew up this Earthshaker Kenra.
That's game.
Yeah.
I do believe that's lethal right there.
Yeah, that's gonna make quick work of his life total. Between the Glorybringer, getting rid of Brandon's only blocker, Brandon's tapped out on mana, and yeah, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's a straightforward play. Heck, get in there with the Thopter.
Yeah.
Thopter's ready.
All right, and Brandon sees the writing on the wall. They're gonna go to sideboards here. So this is something I haven't quite looked into is the sideboard of these matchups. I imagine Temur just sides into a little bit cheaper interaction.
I feel like if they have like, you know, spell pierces or something like that could be cool, but I mean, realistically, slimming down is what you want to do, but there's not a whole lot of slimming down to do in Temur energy, to my knowledge. I wouldn't change much, honestly, if I were in
like when
Billy's.
it was funny to me because when I heard the statement about Rogue Refiner being the card you side out, I was like, well, if Rogue Refiner is the card you side out, then this deck is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
that's fine.
Because Rogue Refiner nets you 2 energy and draws you a card, and that's your worst card in your deck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on.
All right, Billy is looking at. Okay, he does have some non-zero number of Chandra's defeats that are coming in. Which, I mean, just seems like the perfect card in this
Like,
matchup.
why not? It's like...
Aether Sphere Harvester seems really heads up. And a Braid. Yeah, just cheaper interaction.
Good to go. I definitely...
He can side out stuff like Essence Scatter because he knows Brandon's going to be on the play. Essence Scatter did work that game, but isn't something you want to particularly lean on too much main board.
No, definitely not. I can see siding that out anytime you can... Like... Granted, like, if you're in the mirror...
Oh, yeah, get this Nissa out of here.
Yeah, those Nissas have no business in the main board anyway. So.
Yeah, I think that's just Billy's call for the meta.
I mean, yeah, it is what it is.
It's a product of him playing the mirror often.
Or blue-black control or some control variant where they can't really interact with it too good.
Yeah, it was pretty funny earlier stating that, like, I didn't even know if there was any other approach decks in the room, and then just like the minute Caesar's on camera, I'm like, "What are you playing?" Caesar's like, "Oh, I'm playing approach." I'm like, oh, okay, never mind.
All right, deal.
There goes my statement I said earlier.
There was one approach player in the room.
Yes.
I mean, Caesar has like 80 decks, so I mean, like
he's been meaning to play that approach deck. It sucks that it didn't work out for him, but he's for a while been stating that he's been playing things like Temur and Ramunap Red, and he's like, man, I wish I could just play this blue-white deck I built.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not a fan of that deck.
Really?
I can't do, like, lane go.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of the token strategies, but they've kind of, like, fallen off.
Yeah, they, like, blew up for 2 seconds and then, like, went somewhere not on camera or in tournaments or... It's like, so it looks like we're going to have to put out an APB on any... form of tokens deck. We don't know where they are.
Yeah, they took over nationals and then just like disappeared.
Yeah, like fell off completely. It's like that one day that everybody forgot wraths were in the format, and there's a lot of them. That's when like the tokens decks did really good, and then everybody remembered that wraths existed.
Yeah,
in this
all the
format.
blue-black players remembered. Oh yeah, I could have been playing Bontes this entire
or like
time.
Yeti's expertise, or like
Yeah, literally any of these
anything.
blackboard wipes.
Yeah.
Oof. Rough hand out of Billy. He does have an Aether Hub 2 Force. Yeah, they're both going to ship these back.
Seems fine. So which deck do you think Mulligan's better?
Oh, Ramunap Red. I mean, Ramunap Red on the play Mulligan's much better because Billy is very looking for very specific pieces out of his, just like the cheap interaction he sideboarded in and stuff like that.
Yeah, like the answers and things of that nature.
Exactly. For some reason, I just felt like we were already on a game 3 just because both decks play pretty quickly.
I mean, yeah, definitely.
But
one of them is just like, just beats face real quick. The other one just snowballs really quick.
Yeah. Let's see. I think that Yeah, I definitely think that Ramunap Bread is going to Mulligan strictly better.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially like when you're you're a monocolor deck and Timur has to worry about hitting all their colors, mostly just red and green, right? But there's definitely a lot more that you need in Timur than you do in Ramunap Red. Ramunap Red.
Continue.
Oh, the Ramunap Red is just like, here's some mountains and some dudes that I can play really early.
Exactly. You know what's actually like a super big advantage of playing in the playing the Sultai version?
What?
Wow, Billy's gonna take another mulligan. Is the and I didn't even think about this, but you have 2 green-based fast lands.
Yeah.
And green, especially in the first 3 turns, is your most important color.
Yeah, because you need it for a tune, you need it
Long
for a long Tusk Cub,
Servant,
Rover Refiner.
Yeah, like literally the fact that like and Timur has to play like Spire Bluff Canal.
Yeah, which is
doesn't produce
really,
green.
Yeah, doesn't really help you.
This is gonna have to be a keep. He has 2 lands, a Harness Lightning. I think that's all Billy's really looking at with this hand.
Rogue Refiner. Yeah, 3 lands, Rogue Refiner, Harness Lightning. I feel like that's.
Oh, it's a Whirler.
Ooh.
I mean, you keep this hand because it's 5.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And you have a Harness Lightning, and you just hope that Brandon doesn't deploy too many threats.
Yeah, you just hope you can keep up. And it doesn't look like Brandon's going to be deploying that many threats. It looks like he doesn't have a whole lot of red mana.
Ooh, okay, so there's the 3rd land. Billy's going to make quick work of this game, actually.
Yeah, I mean...
He doesn't have a green, which is something we've stated about the
importance. Yeah, the importance of it is you need green.
Yeah. So, like, this Rogue Refiner's not going to be able to get deployed, but this Whirler is going to chew Brandon alive.
Oh, so we do have some red mana.
Yeah. Brandon wondering if he should deploy a mountain.
Yeah, I mean... Mountain or what? What are the choices here?
You may have another Sun Scorched or something of the likes, but yeah, I would definitely just get in the beats while you can. And Harness Lightning mana. And Billy drew a Forest, so Rogue Refiner or Whirler are open to him next turn.
I like the Refiner into...
Oh, I like any play that gives you more energy before you play the Whirler.
Exactly, like...
It's weird that it is in a denomination of 2 rather than 3, but you'll find an Aether Hub or something.
Yeah, something will come in and provide you that 3rd.
1, 2, 3, 4 damage coming across. Billy's going to choose to use the Harness Lightning, probably targeting the Earthshaker Kinra.
I don't know. I like going after one of these Bomats. Yep, the one with more cards. You can have more cards, or you can have no cards. I like it. I like it.
This also gives him another denomination of 2.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as energy goes. Alright, yeah. That Bomat's going to get eaten alive, and those cards are going to stay exiled.
I guess Brandon likes his hand a lot. He does have a Hazoret. That's pretty good, but he only has 2 mana, so that's pretty not good.
There's 3, and here comes the Rogue Refiner. He's going to get to deploy the Whirler Virtuoso next turn with 2 Thopter activations right at the ready.
He gets a land off of the drawn card, so... it looks like a fast... Yeah, it looks like double Whirler, fast land.
Botanical Sanctum Island, yeah.
It's an alright hand.
It's definitely shaping up for Billy. I mean, he's finding what we were saying is the best card in his matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Whirler.
Like, he's gonna get to deploy Whirler.
That's definitely nothing to scoff at.
Not at all.
It's real funny how this format is actually ruled by most of the uncommons in the deck over the rares and stuff.
Well, this was a heads up thing that Wizards I could tell they started doing after the Jeskai Black format.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The problem was everything was at rare level and everything was really good, so the decks were like $900.
Yeah.
And that's just standard should never get to $900. As much as I love that format, standard should never get to $900.
No, not at all.
It felt bad on everybody. I bought 4 boxes of Origins to hope I got 4 Jaces, just because Jace was more expensive than a box of Origins.
That's it's pretty good.
You can double check and go to the price history of Jace if you don't believe me.
It was definitely a thing. I remember that. I came into the format from I had quit, and so I came back, and everybody was like, "Oh, like what are you running?" I'm like, "Something without Jaces or fetch lands."
They're like, so not a deck at all.
Pretty much. I did all right. I made this real weird Abzan Allies deck with Captain's Claws and Dranas. That was funny. Because I had to explain to people how the interaction between the tapped and attacking dudes and the first striking Drana into +1/+1. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, my favorite was the decks that played like just went super crazy with the fetch lands and played like 5-color Bring to Light, which basically gave you 8 copies of Siege.
Yeah, it was real dumb. Real dumb.
This is gonna be on-crop Crasher after Billy attacked with a Rogue Refiner for 3 the previous turn, and Chandra's Defeat is gonna take down that on-crop Crasher.
Seeing some sideboard cards here.
Absolutely, Billy drew into that last turn, and this is just exactly what he needed. He's
he
been able to
definitely
make full use of his mana since the game began.
Yeah, and he did not have a whole lot.
Had he had an untapped land there and it had been Whirler or Braid, we would have seen another full use of mana turn.
Yeah, which would have been crazy.
Get in there, Rogue Refiner.
Yeah, so there's the Hazoret in hand, but that's probably not going to get through anytime soon. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's just going to be Thopters upon Thopters to chew this Hazoret up.
It's...
Alright, and there goes Ramunap Ruins, and tap 4, here's a Hazoret. Hazoret the Fervent. Alright, Brandon at 1 card in hand, so Hazoret can attack, but we have 3 Thopter activations up already.
Granted, you only need the 1 to jump this Hazoret, but make him waste making him waste his energy reserves is probably within Brandon's best interest.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he can just grind out the game with these Ramunap runes activations, these Hazoret animations. Eventually, Billy will run out of gas, but those chances are few and far between.
Yeah, especially when everything in his deck, everything besides Whirler in his deck, Whirler and Bristling Hydro, everything besides those produces energy in a denomination of 2.
Yeah,
so if you can take him off the denomination of 3, that's probably your best bet. But that Braid is going to make quick work as the Servant of the Conduit comes down. We'll see. Billy has some pretty favorable attacks into this Earthshaker Genra.
Hiya. Both the blue men come in.
Alright, and he's going to take 2. And Billy's applying the same tactic that Brandon needs to use on Billy's energy, but on Brandon's life total.
Yeah, for sure.
Just chip away at what you can, and eventually you're just going to overpower him. There's no reason to go in for any crazy attack, but like get in damage where you can.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, let's see what Brandon chooses to play here. He's going to have to play something for that Hazoret to attack. Just hoping we wouldn't see someone move to combat and try to attack with a Hazoret with 2 cards in hand.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Oh man, it'd be that Pro Tour all over again.
That was freaking phenomenal.
That was a sad moment for me to watch.
No, I loved it. I was just like, come on,
that
man.
Poor guy. His dreams got destroyed.
He crushed his own dreams. He did it to himself.
I'm not gonna say I wouldn't be anxious at the top 8 playing against
No, I
Paulo.
definitely would. I wouldn't say that I would not be anxious. That's
semifinals against Paulo Vieira.
Yeah, I would definitely be anxious, but I don't know if I would do some swing with Hazoret with 2 cards in hands type shenanigans.
All right, and he is going to produce a Thopter after the Rogue Refiner gets taken down. See what Billy drew for the turn.
Yeah, no clue.
Oh,
land.
Spire Wolfing now. Slow land. Alright, just 1 with the Thopter. No reason to rush. Your clock doesn't increase if you go super aggressive. Alright, Chandra's Defeat. Yep. Both players citing in Chandra's Defeat for the matchup.
I mean, it makes sense. Get these virtuosos off the battlefield.
Yeah, and Lightning Strike's going to make quick work of this other one.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like we do have a game again.
Yeah, Brandon is going to be able to turn the corner because Billy's still going to get to make some blockers, but like you said, he's chewing through Billy's energy. So if Billy does end up top decking anything super relevant, Billy's showing a lot of patience. He only used 1 activation.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, leave yourself with the 3 energy. If you draw something like Bristling Hydra, just ends up being better than the Hazoret.
Yeah, but you get an Attune. That'll get you some more energy, but it won't do much against this Hazoret. So, like, eventually this Hazoret's gonna get through.
Right.
Like I was saying earlier, like it inevitability on both sides of the table.
Yeah, I mean, when there's not that many abilities, especially in Temur's colors that allow for exiling, like Hazoret just has this inevitability.
Yeah,
about it.
it's just you just stare at this 5/4 until you're dead, essentially.
Billy does have, it's no hostage taker, but Billy does have confiscation coup.
That's definitely not
Just
not
another-
a hostage taker.
It's another reason to hold on to some of your energy. too.
It helps. It helps.
Especially you and your opponent are both out of cards in your hand. You're both playing a
Killing
top deck
Brandon
board.
with his own Hazoret would definitely be hilarious.
There's some type of poetic justice that I just don't understand about that.
It'd be real good.
Oof.
Ooh,
More threats. He gets to exert and swing for 8 here.
which means that Billy
That
is
means dead to Ramunap runes.
Yeah,
But he needs an untapped. Brandon needs an
or
untapped
just
land.
a Hazoret activation.
Oh yeah, Hazoret activation. Yeah, Billy's
Draw a
dead on
card,
multiple
yeah,
avenues here. Billy's gonna have to find
Exert.
something off the top of his
Yeah,
library.
he needs the one shot. It hits you for 9 cards.
This was the problem. Billy got aggressive with the Servant of the Conduit.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh, Glory Bringer. We have a game.
They're just a shootout.
But it's still, Billy just dies to a Hazoret activation.
It's just a shootout.
4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough.
It's just a shootout, guys.
Billy can get Brandon down to 2 as well. Go for it. Go for the flavor. He takes him down to 2.
The Glory Bringer trying to bring home the glory, but I mean, it's not gonna do a whole lot. He just untaps, draws a card, discards it. You're dead. There's nothing cute. You don't need to do anything cute. Yeah.
He could have.
He could have still just played the Sun Scorched and then activated the ramp. There was like multiple ways that he was dead. He was just dead.
Wow.
That
All right,
was
we
insane.
have a game 3.
That was definitely insane.
I keep forgetting that they haven't played got 2 games yet. So I'm
Yeah,
just
right. Like these keep going by like real quick.
yeah, I'm like, oh man, that was a good game 3, and I'm like, oh yeah, wait, that was not game.
That was
3.
not game 3. Yeah.
For sure was not game.
That
3.
was insane.
Yeah, it came down to just like top deck wars, and it was really interesting because we saw the inevitability of the Ramunap red deck come into light of like, you were right, he was just dead through multiple avenues. Hazoret activation, Ramunap activation, like that's the namesake of the deck.
Yeah,
like,
any amount of like things. Like I said, I'm not a fan of like how it doesn't have that much late game interaction, but I'm not saying it has no late game interaction. It does. We saw that.
Shout out to everybody that saw Billy's phone password.
That and yeah, right. I need someone to put that in the chat so I can break into Billy's phone.
All right, let's see if we have some keeps. Ooh, no red mana out of Brandon's hand.
Ooh, yeah, definitely no red mana.
And Billy mulligans.
These mulligans.
Yeah, both players have been mulliganing.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
definitely
frequently
down
in
for
these
like
games.
another top deck war. Like
Yeah.
I love me some top deck wars.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes the game more exciting. It's just kind of like playing blackjack, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like what is it? 21. He killed him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think any sort of sideboarding changes. It seems like both people's sideboards were pretty on point. Brendan knows his worst matchup is against things like Quarry Bringer,
Yeah, for
Roller
sure.
Virtuoso.
So he has the Chandra's defeats in.
Exactly. Billy, Brandon's deck is red. You bring in Chandra's Defeat.
Yeah.
You need to gain life. You bring in Aether Sphere Harvester.
Makes sense.
Like,
It's all par for the course.
yeah, exactly. Both sideboards. There is no play draw dependency.
No,
I feel
yeah,
like.
you just like take some cards out, put some cards in, you're good to go.
Ooh.
So it looks like we got shocks. We have no.
There's a
reoccurring-
tapped Rootbound Crag and an Attune, I think.
No, that's a
Two
bristling.
Bristling Hydras in a forest, but he does have early removal.
Yeah, I would have liked Brandon keeping the deck that, or like the hand that he had.
What were we looking at with that hand?
It looked like he had the lands to cast his spells for one. It was like Lightning Strike, I do believe, Shock, and a couple other cards that you can cast off of 1 or 2 land. And it looks like... worse. Worse. We got an on-crop crasher, I do believe, a shock, another shock, land, and a Ramunap ruins.
Alright.
I mean, Soul Scar's Mage off the top will, that'll do.
Billy
Granted,
just
it's
has
probably
so
dead.
much removal here.
Sunscorched Desert. You just play the desert and swing.
We put Billy down to 19. Might try to get fancy with the prowess trigger.
Yeah, I would have waited.
He goes in response to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have waited for him to do the removal instead of, like, Segs out. Appreciate it.
Alright, Brandon's going to shift the turn back to Billy. Billy's going to play an island, and there's Rogue Refiner.
Right on time.
Yeah. He's going to get the train rolling. He's going to get to see some more cards. Triple Bristling
Hydra. And I think that's an Abrade.
7/7. Yep. Abrade and Trip Bristling Hydra. If he draws an untapped land, this hand's insane.
Yeah, like, he just starts stringing Bristling Hydras. Like, what do you need to do?
Yeah,
after
what is
that?
Brandon's Shock going to do about that? Well, it's going to deal with that Rogue Refiner. Earthshaker Kinra's going to come in. Brandon's going to use the life for the Ramunap Ruins. Billy's going to fall down to 15. Untapped land does it. Bristling Hydra Chain begins. This isn't going to be a
Bristling
top deck
Hydra
war.
Twins activate. I mean, triplets, actually.
This is not going to be a top deck war.
Oh, no, like, for sure.
This
There is no top
runaway
deck.
Bristling Hydra
Yeah.
Chain. Oh, man. That was a good untapped land for Billy.
Hour of Devastation could do it, but, I mean...
I love the two different Root Bound Crag arts too.
Oh, no, it's absolutely barbaric.
Alright, On-Crop Crasher is something. Exert. Billy says, I'll pay the energy. No problem doing that, and I'm going to block your creature while I'm at it.
Yeah, I will take you off of this here. I mean, realistically, I think
either or.
Yeah, I think you take the Kenra though, because the Kenra was exerted, or not, or the Crasher was exerted.
I mean, I like either or. He's sitting on double removal now in hand, and a chain of Bristling Hydras.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give him that. You don't really have to do much.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that hand, I would feel like I just had inevitability anyway. So like.
Yeah, like you definitely do not have to do much with this hand. You just play out your cards.
Yeah. Like, he's going to attack with that Bristling Hydra. This is going to be a Lightning Strike, but that's not going to do much about that Bristling Hydra.
It's not going to do much about Billy's life total either.
Exactly.
I don't see Brandon living long enough for this life total to be changing.
Alright, he's going to shift the turn back to Billy. Alright. Billy's like, do I deploy the third one?
I think you deploy the third one.
He's like, I love that he looked at it and set it aside. He's like, is this what I make happen? This is another reason to deploy the third one is now he doesn't get to protect this Bristling Hydra.
Yeah, but clean board,
right?
Double Abrade, follow up play is another Bristling Hydra.
He does get. He could have protected it with Abrade actually.
That's true.
But yeah, he's just gonna keep playing it.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. And this just has to feel devastating.
Yeah, this is just game at this point. Like, Ramunap Red doesn't have anything to deal with this except chump blockers.
Yeah, that's quick work. And yeah, that's gonna be it.
Yeah, what do you do against two Hydras and two Abrades?
Oh, absolutely. There was nothing to be done in that situation.
That's the hand you want to see, like every time. Like, oh, did I had other cards in this deck? Like,
yeah. All right, get it back over here. Hello, everybody.
Heyo.
How's it going? So we have what it is arguably a more exciting format than Standard tomorrow in Team Unified Modern.
arguably, people argue over which one is
Look, I work at a game store, so
Okay, that's
I have
fair.
to play both sides of the fence.
That's fair.
Right.
I play one side of the fence.
Right,
It's
right.
the one where I get to play Lingering Souls. So
That's fair. That's fair. So we're talking about Innistrad block constructed.
yeah.
Okay.
No, I like literally was. I was talking to Brendan the other day, and I'm like, I literally feel like I'm playing Innistrad All Stars because it's like, so I got like Tireless Tracker, Lingering Souls, Grim Flares, Liliana's, both of them. It's Collective Brutality. It's all from like an Innistrad. So
Yeah.
it's just like, man. Like,
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. Me and someone else. We were talking about the fact that like everything recently has been. It feels like it was Kaz. It was the one of our new employees here at Ettin Games. We were talking about how everything that is like modern legal is at one point like a standard we've played in.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Like these are all like fairly recent sets, and that's like the power level. There was a time period, and I would categorize it as like Mirrodin Besieged to Dragon's Maze.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was just, or
Those
even
standards
Dragons
were-
of Tarkir.
Those standards were definitely like.
Well, like all,
Crazy.
yeah, even to Dragons of Tarkir, like this is what modern is.
Oh yeah.
If you
yeah.
look at most of the cards, they were printed in some of those sets.
Oh yeah, like we got Kolagon's Command came up.
I mean,
Um,
a lot of the commands you play, like Kolagons is just the biggest.
Only
Dromoka's command also sees play.
it sees
like a-
play, but it's still the worst one. It's
So what do you mean the worst?
it's the
one?
worst one that sees play. All right.
Like
So,
even Solemn Guards has started seeing play is like a one of now.
what a world.
What a world! Yeah, I didn't say it was good. I just
Yeah, like okay, so
stating the fact.
yeah, what is it? You got Kolagon's Command. Atarka's Command is still arguably better than Dromoka's Command by like far, and then you got Dromoka's Command, the worst played command, and after that I would say like Ojutai's and Silumgar's can fight over which one is like, you know,
Ultimately the worst.
Yeah,
It's probably Ojutai's.
it's probably Ojutai's.
just because
Well,
you have Cryptic open to you at that spot though.
Yeah, but you can
Like it
bring,
doesn't fill any voids that another card does.
but you can bring like a converted mana cost like 2 or less back. So if you're in the market for that,
what deck? Cool, you can bring Baby Jace back.
no, you can bring back like Snapcaster Mage. But then you could just call against command your Snapcaster Mage back. So again, we're all right. Yeah, we've
Solemn
decided.
Guards is better just because it does things that the other ones.
Yeah,
don't.
like Ojutai's is strictly worse command. We've cracked
Dromoka's is the worst
Myth
competitive
busted.
command, whatever.
myth busted.
So, what would you have in the current modern meta? Because we do have like GP Detroit coming up at the end of the next year as like the closest Team Unified modern GP. And so, what would you right now where modern sits? What would your dream team be for Team Unified?
It's rough. That's rough. Eldrazi Tron. I was like, it doesn't really conflict with anyone.
Right,
And it's
decent mid range.
decent mid-range deck. Storm. Because I mean, just storm off on someone. Give him a coloring book.
Your Storm player is the player that's like, hey guys, by the way, I already got one. I already got down.
Yeah, like I'm gonna be
Yeah, I'm gonna run to the restroom.
snack bar. Like I'll be back.
Sure.
I'll be back.
Don't want anything.
Yeah, you want me to pick up a hot dog? Yeah, the storm player.
Exactly. Yeah, that's your Storm.
Third deck. I like. It'd be a toss-up between like Grixis Death Shadow, which I mean, granted you'd have to figure out what you do with that over. Grixis
Storm
Death,
doesn't need both.
Yeah, Grixis Death Shadow out the window because I mean, or
they need the fetches.
They need the fetches and the
Yeah.
Serum Vision. So Grixis Death Shadow out the window. What would my third one be? I guess Valakut wouldn't be bad. Or like any land-based strat, like Valakut being one of them. So
Okay.
I like that as a team actually. If I was being biased, it would be some amount of green-black X deck. I like Jund right now like a lot in the format because I get to run Blood Moon. But at the same time, Abzan is still pretty good. But again, I'm biased. Just tell me a green-black mid-range deck, and I'll probably play it.
So I would have to say, probably for me, I do agree with having either something like Ad Nauseam or Storm. The only reason for Ad Nauseam is it does have a bit more play to it than Storm.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, people are prepared for Storm, right? So that right now would just be a meta call.
Yeah, but like I mean, at the same time, like any amount of like interaction against your.
You're also. I'm gonna plead my case. You're also going to run into less hand discard decks than you usually would, just because they can only have the spells on one deck in the entire team. So your statistics of running into hand discard spells round by round go down.
That's fair.
Okay, cool. Okay, first point made. Your entire combo's at instant speed. That's already the appeal of that.
Can I change my answers? So I want.
You also have a lower chance of running into Chalice. So these are all reasons why
I hate that card.
you pick Ad Nauseam
I hate that card.
over Storm in Team Unified.
That's fair. So I would do Ad Nauseam. Does Ad Nauseam run? It doesn't run paths, right?
No.
Okay. Ad Naus, Abzan.
And it doesn't even run fetches and shocks.
Yeah. So Ad
Unless you're
Naus,
a monster.
Abzan, and what else? Burn. No, I don't like Burn. I really don't like Burn.
No.
That deck is real bad. It's not bad. It's just bad.
I like Ad Nauseam. I like something like Eldrazi-tron or Affinity.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard finding people who want to play robots though. It's like real funny though. It's like that
You
deck
have to find someone that's like really into it, because even the people that have it built aren't exactly into it.
Yeah, they're definitely not thrilled to be playing robots. Like,
yeah, especially for an entire tournament. You have to find someone that's like hype about playing Affinity on it.
I don't think there's anyone who actually is just really excited.
I don't think anyone has fun
I don't either.
putting counters on things.
It's not even that. It's just like, oh man, you have the best game one deck in the format. Does real good game one. And Stony Silence is the thing.
Right.
So I mean, yeah, that'd be my issue playing it. Is like every game two would be like, do they have Stony Silence?
So with my configuration, the reason I was stating something like Ad Nauseam, Robots, or Eldrazi-tron, and then the third deck, the whole reason to pick the first two is because Thoughtseize isn't absolutely necessary for Ad Nauseam's sideboard, especially in Team Unify, because like I said, you're dodging your matchups that you need it for anyways.
Yeah.
Like just statistically. So what you're
Jeskai Tempo.
Well,
Abzan, Jeskai Tempo, and probably like Eldrazi-tron or Ad Nauseam.
Eldrazi-tron or Affinity, Ad Nauseam, and that makes room, because you don't have to run Thoughtseize anymore. That makes room for Jund.
Ah, deal. I would Jund.
And Jund, if you level the field, Jund has a really, really good matchup against like
just about everything.
Yeah, just about everything.
Just about everything.
Like K Command is just so good.
Yeah,
I hate the card so much.
I love that card.
It's so
I love
good.
that card. Just
card.
kill your Arcbound Ravager and kill your Cranial Plating, or kill your Artifact Land and your Master of Ethereum, or like the card's busted.
Absolutely, like everything it does is relevant in almost every single time in the game state.
You know what other modal card I love a lot?
What?
Collective Brutality.
Collective Brutality is also good. It was so funny discovering how good Collective Brutality was as I was playing Modern decks, because everyone so the general thing for Collective Brutality is you look at it and you're like, wow, X deck is really soft to Collective Brutality, and then you start to find that every deck is just soft to Collective Brutality.
Yeah, like literally every deck is soft.
Like no deck has a good Collective Brutality game. Like,
yeah, like if they cite in a playset of Collective Brutality is against you, it's just like what do you do? This is like
I'm Burn, good game. Like,
yeah, if you're Burn,
most extreme matchup. Like
I loved when Burn players were like turn 2 Eidolon. I'm like, turn 2 Collective Brutality. kill your Eidolon. Don't lose. Don't lose any life off of it. Like you actually lose 2 life off of it.
Oh, I'm gonna take that spell.
Yeah, I'll
because you tapped out for Eidolon.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really like that. What is it? Lightning Helix, you don't need that. It's a real good time. It's definitely a really good time.
Storm Affinity, Grixis, Death Shadow. That's fair. I just like. Okay, one, I'm a sucker for ad nauseum, but two, I have more just because I've had to make this argument so many times. I've more than often ran the numbers, and ad nauseum over Storm has a much better matchup in team events.
Are you
Storm's
trying to say
better.
something, Brendan?
Storm's better individually, but ad nauseum has more during the.
I think Brendan's saying that I need to play Grixis Death Shadow.
I think he's also saying that he's gonna play Affinity, which is really weird.
I mean, I'll give him that. He's been wanting
Unless he's
to play
gonna play
Affinity.
Storm.
No, he's been wanting to play Affinity for like forever, so I could see him doing that.
Okay, we are going to take one last quick break, and we're going to see how Logan did, because he may be our final match, because he's just been stealing the night.
Gasp, and I'm gonna get coffee.
Absolutely.